guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 19th video tutorial in Python series, and in this video I'll be explaining about inheritance. So till now you might have heard something about inheritance in your daily life. For example, some people might have told you that you look like your mom, or you look like your dad, or someone might have told you that he's exactly the same, he does this work in exactly the same way like his dad does it, or something like that. So each one of us has inherited some of the other characteristics from our parents and elders. So this is what is called as inheritance. In Python too, it works in a similar way. It is the method of deriving new classes from the existing ones. Second, it provides reusability of a code. We don't have to write the same code again and again. Also, it allows us to add more features to a class without modifying it. It is transitive in nature, which means that if class B inherits from other class A, then all the subclasses of B would automatically inherit from class A. For example, consider you have a class A as the parent class, and now you have the class B, that is the child class, which has inherited the properties from A. And now you have one more class C, and this is the subclass of B, which means that C has inherited the class B. So we obviously know that B class has inherited the properties of class A. So obviously C class will also have the properties of A. So this is what this sentence is trying to convey the meaning here. Now we'll see what parent class and child class mean. The class from which other classes are derived is called as parent class or base class, and the class which inherits from the other class is called as a child class. Now you might not have understood all of these things. I'll explain these points in this video once we start coding it. Now let me define a class. I'll delete this. I'll define a class here, class person, and I'll define the init function in it, and I'll pass the parameters as self, fname, and fage here, and then I'll initialize it, self dot name equal to fname and self dot age equal to fage. So here I have initialized this. Now I'll define a function of this class, member function, and it will print records, and I'll pass the parameters only self here, and I'll print the detail, that is self dot name and self dot age. So this print record will print the details of the person here. Now I'll create an object x equal to person, and I'll pass the parameters John for name, and then age as 26. And now I'll invoke the print record function. For that I'll write x dot print records. Now let us see the output here. Here we see that John and 26 have been printed because we have invoked this function. So this is here, this class which we have created is the parent class. Now I'm creating one more class. That class anything like dancer, singer, etc. And since I'm making the dancer class inherit the person class, I should write person here in this parentheses and then colon, and now I'll just write pass here. So we use the pass keyword when we don't want to add any other properties or methods to the class. So now consider that I'm creating an object here, and this, since we have used inheritance here, this dancer has all the properties and characteristics of the person class. So here I'll create an object of the dancer class, and here I'll just write Amy and 23, and this can be used. I'll make this different variable or different object. So here I'm invoking the print record function. So here what we see is that we haven't defined any function explicitly for this dancer class, but instead we see that we are inheriting the person class. So that's why we can access all its data functions, all its member function and data members. So now if we do that, let us see the output. We see that Amy and 23 is being printed since it invokes this print records function from the person class. So this is a basic example of inheritance. Now we'll define a function here. Instead of pass, I'll write define initialize, and I'll supply the parameters as self, and then fname and fh and year. Here I'm adding this new parameter that is f year. Now suppose that you want to change the way in which this init function works. You don't want the init function of the person class to be defined in this dancer class. Then what you can do is you can just write person, sorry, I mean that suppose you want to define the init function for this dancer class in a different way, that is you don't want to use this method, then you can define here the other ways, like other way to initialize, like self dot f year equal to f year, or you can initialize other parameters here. But at the same time, if you want to use the init function of your person class, that is the class from which you have inherited, and along with it you want to add some other features too, then what you can do is you can write that class name from, or parent class name, and then you should write dot and then dot init, and in this supply the same parameters like self and whatever the class person takes here, self, fname and fh. Okay, and now we have to initialize the year parameter for the dancer class, and that's why I'll write self dot year equal to f year. So it has initialized the f year too in this dancer class here. Now we'll define a simple function for this class. I'll write something like welcome, and I'll pass the parameter as self, and now I'll print hi, and then welcome, then what I can write else, yeah, I can write the name of the person, so I'll write self dot name, and then I'll write to the batch of, I'll access the year here, that is self dot year YEAR. Okay, now let me close this here. Now I'll create an object of the dancer class, that is y equal to dancer of, and I'll supply the parameters like Amy and 23 is the age and year is 1999. Okay, and then I can write y dot welcome. Okay, so now let's see the output. So here we see that the init function works, and it initializes the f name and f age according to this class person, that is its parent class. And then self.year year is initialized with f year, and the normal, that is the member function of this class, is invoked by this dancer object, and it is being printed that hi welcome self.name, which is Emmy here, and to the batch of and year which is initialized here is 1999. So that's it about inheritance in this video. Hope to see you in the next videos where I'll cover further more topics, and thanks for watching it. Bye bye.